Percent Podcast.
Hey everyone, just want to give a big shout out to our December sponsor, F1 Delta Time. F1 Delta Time is an officially licensed Formula One blockchain-based game that utilizes the Ethereum blockchain to bring you a full Formula One racing experience, coupled with a revolution in gaming in the form of true digital ownership and a play-to-earn model. F1 Delta Time is all about collecting scarce digital items to fill your garage and leveraging these items to go head-to-head in multiplayer racing. Visit f1deltatime.com to join in various events running throughout December. That's F1deltatime.com. Okay, we're live. This is Matthew, and I'm back with my dude Rizzle for another special interview on the Matthew and Rizzle Show. Today, our guest is someone who, he's one of the most whimsical, playful guys in the metaverse, I think. If you're on Twitter, you've definitely seen his daily update videos. They caught my attention many months back when he started doing them, and he kind of set a huge trend in the crypto art space with these daily updates, looking at certain drops, weird shit that is happening over on Rareable, Super Rare, and a bunch of other crypto art marketplaces. So I'm really excited to have powerSurge on the show today. Welcome to the podcast, Surge.
What's up, guys? Thank you very much. This is an awesome intro. I didn't expect it. Thank you.
Cool. So to get started, I think it would be cool if you could just give us a little self-intro. Who is Surge? Maybe what have you done professionally or in your background, in a previous life before you fell in the crypto art and metaverse rabbit hole with us?
Yeah. Well, I'm originally from Russia, went to school there, then I moved to Canada, lived in Montreal for 8 years. I wore a lot of different hats. I was a reporter, news reporter when I was back in Russia. That's what I studied, journalism. I worked on a news station, on a radio station. Then when I moved to Canada, I had to kind of start over. So I had I was doing like sales. I worked at a restaurant as a server. I worked at a gas station. And I did do sales. I was selling merchant services, ATM machines, health insurance. I was a realtor. In the US, I also did digital marketing, like pay-per-click, advertisements, managing campaigns. And one of my recent hats was I learned how to program, and I was a software engineer for about 6 years. I mostly developed on Apple platform, and that's when I kind of discovered blockchain and Bitcoin. And my last role, I worked at Block One as an iOS engineer for about a year and a half. Yeah, and now I'm doing back to media again. So kind of full circle.
Dude, what inspired you? I mean, your videos are like somewhat inescapable. And dude, honestly, now I like open up Rareable and like some of these other platforms, and all I see are like random pieces of art with like you dancing and like doing all this like weird shit. You got like all these people making fan art on you and everything. What was like? Did you just decide one day to just like take a crack at like just doing a brief video, or was this sort of like thing you wanted to execute like on an ongoing basis? You just decided to like run with this project and see what happens. I mean, obviously it has caught on in a big way, and the fan art is legit, man.
Oh, thank you. So the story was that I wanted to do media. Actually, no. I did want to do media, but I didn't know what to do it about, and I got interested in NFTs and crypto art. I discovered crypto art actually by listening to your podcast, by the way.
Nice.
Another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was in February, I think, or early March. After I heard you talk about crypto voxels, I went to one of your work in progress meetups and started listening to your podcast. And one of the podcasts I heard was with Matt Kane, And I'm like, okay, well, I kind of started looking into digital marketplaces, and I started looking at sales. I kind of started tracking, what's selling, what's not, just going there every day because it's something I was interested in. And I kind of felt like maybe I can do media in that. Media meaning like creating content creation. That's what I call media. I don't know why I'm saying media. So yeah, I just started first posting sales on Instagram, like just a picture of something like top sales, because I was going through looking at for myself. Like I was just interested genuinely, understand the market, what's happening. And then I think there was after Trash. After Max got kicked out of Super Rare, and there was a lot of drama about that, so I kind of knew what the trash movement was, and I felt like maybe I can make a short video about what a trash art is, and I did, and I felt like it was a good response. And I did another one about potato and some other videos, so I kind of started making videos on daily basis almost, and I did them for I think about a month. And yeah, I just kind of fell into it and started making them more and more. But now I'm at the point where I'm spending so much time on those videos. I need to dial back a little bit to make it more sustainable, because first it took maybe like an hour to make, like when I first started posting just sales on Instagram. Then it turned into 2 hours, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like no days off, and I'm like, shit, man, gotta dial back a little bit. So I'm trying to squeeze it into a 4-hour window now. That's my goal.
So what takes the longest, and what's taking most of the time? Is it finding the material to talk about? Is it kind of writing the script, or combination of both?
Yeah, it's finding the material, because I wanted to, let's say, I want to make the segment kind of good, right, informative, and I have an anxiety that I maybe haven't covered something, and I keep digging. I can spend hours, and just having that, I don't know, fear of that I missed something, and I think I'm starting to deal with it better now. I'm just letting it like, okay, this is what I found, this is my time frame. Let's say I spent, I don't know, hour and a half. I was able to find this, and that's what it's gonna go, and nothing else. Like I need to manage my anxiety about that. So
what's your search process? I'm sure a lot of people are at home, and I mean, Rarible is one example, but all the other marketplaces have their own kind of like idiosyncratic filter buttons that you can use to varying effect to find like more or less like gems within the marketplaces. But like, do you have a special like secret formula for manipulating the filters? I think that'd be cool to kind of talk about and share your process.
In my segment, I have 2 parts. It's first social media. It's basically Twitter. And second part is sales. And I use OpenSea. You go to just whatever the marketplace is, and you go to activity, and you just filter by sales, and you just really scroll through all the sales and just look at them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Makes sense,
maybe I got better at finding those gems. Kind of is the way you say gems. It's just I have been scrolling for like 6 months every day, so maybe I got better at that, or at least I don't know, better or not, but I bring in my bias into it. You know, you probably maybe have a similar bias as me if you say you like what I post.
No, I feel like that's what makes your videos like cool and relatable, and you sort of flex your personality in there a little bit, and they're great, man. I'm a scroller as well. I like just sort of crunching numbers and seeing what's going on like behind the curtain and everything. Is this like what's the long play, man? Are you, obviously it's to continue to create the videos in a sustainable way moving forward. So it seems like you're intent on staying on that path. I mean, is this the full-time thing that you either are doing or trying to create out of this this thing that's going viral for you? Or what's powerSurge look like 6 months out from now or a year out?
Right. Hard to say. Well, okay, no, there is a lighthouse that I have kind of like kind of aligning myself to, and it's enjoyment, essentially, enjoyment of process of doing something. I'm not. I don't know if I will continue ever, like, I don't know, for years continue doing that. I don't know. I actually switch my focus fairly regular. As you have heard, I've wore many hats. I have a tendency of switching. So I don't know how long that stride would last. But my goal is just to enjoy the process, and like, I don't make those videos for the audience like many people may think. I mean, relationship is a big part of social media, and relationship is a big part of like feedback on what you do. But I really try hard not to actually look at feedback for too much, because you can never get happy based on other people's validation. So I'm trying to find validation within myself, and as long as I enjoy the process, and as long as I enjoy, what I do, I will continue doing that, because I started doing that because I was just really interested in those art, and I just spent a lot of time staring at it, and I'm like, okay, maybe that would be useful to someone else, because someone is not maybe putting that many hours into it. So I started posting it. That's what I'm at. I assume it may dial down after Bull Run 2022. Like in 23, 24, we're going to have like crypto winter. I don't know. It might not be as fun.
We might need you more during crypto winter than when it's hot, man, to keep people's spirits up and everything like that. What was your main, like, were NFTs your entrance into the crypto scene, or how did you originally like get involved in crypto or become interested in crypto?
I first got introduced to crypto by my cousin, and it was in 2012, 2013, I think, and it was primarily actually to, I was interested in economics, and when I heard of Bitcoin, it was a fascinating concept. It completely blew my mind. So I was following in Bitcoin since then, and I saw the bull run of 2017.
Uh-oh.
And that's when I kind of like got into EOS, and that's where I worked for EOS after the bull run. And yeah, NFTs. It was my first NFT was a CryptoKitty. Yeah, I have like maybe 700 different cats. Not full collection, but I don't know. Some of them. I primarily tried. I don't buy them anymore, but I used to buy fancies. I have quite a bit of Gen Zeros. I think I'm in the top 100 of Gen Zero owners. I have never got around breeding them, but I saw the concept of collectability. I kind of enjoy those cats. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like they're so digital, and it's kind of, how could you enjoy them? I don't know. Something weird about them. So so my first NFTs were CryptoKitties, but when I saw art, I kind of was very familiar already with the NFT concept, and I tried to maybe see similarities in crypto art, because crypto artist is a kind of like a fancy cat in CryptoKitty world. Like there's a bunch of fancies, and there's a market for each fancy, for example, and there's a order book for all of them, and yeah, owners have them. The difference between CryptoKitties and art is that CryptoKitties, they're born by breeding, and if you have a lot of cats initially, you just breed and you're becoming the owner of those cats like right away. There's whales that own like a bunch of specific cat breed, but they got inherited. They got those cats because they had cats before. But in cryptoart, you have to buy in the book. You don't get them just right away. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it's a little different game. I think it's a little bit more fair game in terms of crypto art. You need to discover an artist and you need to buy him earlier, I guess. Where in CryptoKitties, if you have cats already, you just have those specific cats to breed, and you have those fancies all of a sudden. Boom, you bred them a whole bunch.
I love that analogy.
By the way, over the course of like scrolling for 6 months a day through like all the sales and everything like that, have you noticed some like either like really intriguing trends or like things that have sort of surprised you, or like, you know, seen something fishy going on, or like, you know, if you think back about all your scrolling and everything, what jumps out at you?
Yeah, scrolling got a lot more interesting when Rarible came around. Before it was, I think there was just not a lot. It was Super Rare, Maker's Place, and Known Origin. I think the sales were like maybe 100. Okay, maybe around 100 pieces per day. I'm talking about maybe March, April, May, like June, July. And when Rarible came around, I think there's like 1,000 per day now. Just on Rarible. I don't know how many, but a lot more. So, but in terms of trends, there are definitely some fakes. On the early days, there was a ton of fakes. Fakes meaning like some artist just comes in and starts uploading and selling someone else's work. That's what I call a fake. Sometimes you just don't know. You see something like really cheap and it's really good. Obviously it raises the question, is it real? That kind of thing. In terms of trends, I see definitely for the last 4 or 5 months a rise of movements, like some not just static pictures. I found that in their earlier months of 2020, there was just a lot of pictures, and anyone who was using movements like GIFs were getting a lot more attention. Now I feel like most of the NFTs have movement in them. So that's kind of like I enjoy. I actually like some animation. That's kind of fun. Definitely 3D and weirdness, man. In all art, the weirder the better, or funny. That's what I look for my segments in terms of like material. It has to be weird or funny.
Yeah, I feel like that weirdness and funny character of the sales that you're tracking and highlighting, I feel like that's the representation, or that's the part of your subjective lens that people love in your videos. They really enjoy it because, I mean, that is one of the really special, unique areas, I think, of crypto art. Like the weirdness factor is definitely a major part of the collectability for a lot of people. And it was really fascinating, actually, to hear about your CryptoKitty collecting. It really kind of shades a little bit more of like what you're doing, or how you're seeing a lot of what's happening in crypto art in a better way for me personally to understand it. I know Ryan or Rizzle has a massive CryptoKitty collection, like all white and stuff like that. It's really funny to see how people take the collecting habits from CryptoKitties and apply it to different parts of NFT land.
Dude, I can't touch his collection though, man. I got like they're all black in honor of my cat, R.I.P. Fafa. But I can't scratch 700, man. Surge is legit.
I kind of wanted to dive a little bit more into the collecting part, because like Rizzle mentioned in the beginning, you're getting a ton of fan art. You're getting a lot of donations from your fans, which is so cool. When I saw that people started donating ETH and crypto art in the beginning, I immediately sent some ETH to you, and it's so cool to see people continuing that. So I know you have like a crazy crypto art collection, but do you see yourself more as like a collector, an investor, a flipper, or like something else? Like how do you see yourself in relation to the items that are in your digital wallet that you've purchased or received from other folks?
All right. Good question. I kind of really like all this art that I have, and I just don't sell as much, or I put like ridiculous prices. Maybe that's my subconscious way of what I have, like two personalities in me, and one says, okay, you need to kind of start selling that, because selling is an important part of participation in the economy. Like, in order to be in it, in order to feel it, you need to start selling. Because if you're listing it, it doesn't mean anything. And if you own it, I mean, it's great. But if you start selling them, you can really feel the market. And if you start understanding, like, feel those prices at specific moments, how they're changing, how they're peaking or diving, that's where the true market edge is. But I find that it's so much time that takes to actually list, and it's effort too. Like, I don't know, when I try to list, it's painful. Like, you need to do market research, think of what other items are selling for from that artist, or the same piece if it's an edition. So I don't know, it's like 3 to 5 minutes per piece, and it's work. I just don't know. I just don't have energy for that now. I feel like I may be selling, but I just don't. It's just annoying. It's not the part that I enjoy, and I try to focus on things that I enjoy more. So it just falls there.
Yo,
it's just
I'm in the same boat, man. I mean, I don't. It's difficult, right? Because I only buy stuff that I really like, and then I'm like, well, I don't really want to sell it because I like it. That's why I bought it in the first place. And then I also like I feel I buy a lot of art that I know the artist, and part of the reason I buy it is to support the artist. And I also don't want the artist just thinking like I just scooped it up to just flip it, like, you know, and have zero attachment to the piece, because that's almost never the case. So dude, I end up doing exactly what you do. I put ridiculous prices on my stuff and then basically just don't sell any of it, and now, you know, just have my collection. Dude, outside of one of the things we always like to hit people with when we wrap up the podcast is just sort of interested in what people are collecting. And you obviously mentioned crypto kitties and crypto art. Are there any other like cool or interesting projects that you've had your eye on, or things that you are collecting in the background, or what other stuff you got going on in your wallet?
In NFT space, it's definitely cryptovoxel parcels. Those are the most fun NFTs that I've owned, because in art or CryptoKitties, I guess you can look at them and kind of admire the art, but with the cryptovoxels, you actually get to play with that parcel and think of what can you build there, and it's by far the most fun NFTs. And I'm actually looking at sales right now. There's a new Helios Island in cryptovoxels, and there's a sale going on today. I am eyeing a parcel. Maybe I'll get it, I don't know, maybe not. We'll see. So I'm tracking those sales that Ben is doing, like those initial
direct auctions,
sales.
right?
Direct auctions, yeah.
So, well, actually, related to your collecting of the cryptovoxels purchases, like, are you building a lot out on there? Are you collaborating with other builders to build on your properties? Like, how do you see cryptovoxels specifically developing and evolving, and how does that relate to the parcels that you're collecting and building on?
Oh, right. I had trouble building. It's quite a learning curve. I gotten a first parcel, I think maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and I tried to build on it. It was a lot of fun actually. Just building simple structures on it. It's like a game, honestly. But if you're just starting, your structures are gonna suck, and they still do. Honestly, I am no compared to artists that have been building for longer times, and I see like builds, like crazy builds, and I'm like, oh my god, I can never possibly build that. So honestly, what I do is I just I also try to rent them. I think that was my first go-to, I guess, strategy, was to try to rent it. I was not able to rent it. I don't know how others are able to. Then I thought, what can I do with it? It's just sitting there and I'm not building on it. So I just, thought if I would offer other artists to build on it if they want to, and use the parcel, as long as they want and as long as they need. And that's how this trash gallery came around. Rob Ness was looking to build a website, but I have built websites in the past. I know how annoying that is, and it's a lot more fun to build a building in CryptoVoxels, which honestly almost like a website. It's just 3D. You can put your art there, you can put your messages there, you can put links. So he took on that, and then I don't know how. There's another builder who saw it, and he wanted to add on to it. He put a bus on that Hooker Street in Frankfurt, and he added more features to the building. And I actually started learning from him, like how is he doing it, because I've been visiting the parcel every day, and I was like seeing how is he building those things, and I can see all those voxel models because I have the key. So I started borrowing them. He said, yeah, you can take those and put them somewhere else, and I took some of the voxels and brought them to my other parcels. So it became a lot more fun since I met the beat miner other guy he's building, and it's just amazing. So I'm just allowing other artists, I guess, to build on parcels, offer them space if they want to. Because other thing about parcels in CryptoVoxels is that they all have history, so you can go back in time in any parcel and just restore the state of it how it was at some specific time. So you can build as many things as you want and just go back if you wanted to, and it's a lot more fun. Now I'm building this project about portals. I thought of actually building a network of billboards like Boulage has, metaversebillboards.com. But he has started like way too early for me. So he is so far ahead. Just no way I can catch up. So I'm like, okay. I started doing those teleporting kind of like portals to other parcels, but it will have a teleport back. I find that it's a better experience because I was winding around the world, and I would sometimes click on some link and I would just end up somewhere I have no idea where I'm at, and it's just boring there, and I'm like, how can I get back? And I couldn't. I have to go back in map and just, I don't know, and I didn't know where I was. So I found that experience wasn't ideal. So I find having a teleport back is a better user experience feature, because I don't know, I used to build products, I used to design things, so I'm kind of like pet peeve on that. So I'm trying to build a better experience in CryptoVoxels, so I'm building those teleporting stations.
The other week when I was talking to you getting ready for your appearance on the Whip, we had kind of dove into CryptoVoxels, and I was surprised how deep into CV you were. Actually, we got hit by a train that was rolling through Frankfurt at the time. It was pretty fun. But I think the approach of getting, if you're not like a master builder yourself, getting some artists to set up shop on top of your build, I feel like that's the proper approach to start building out on top of these properties to prevent any sort of like vacant, barren wasteland from emerging in the metaverse. So hats off to that approach.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. And I hate those empty lots, man. There's a ton of them. I think that those investors who poured like cash, they're just sitting empty.
Yeah.
Why would you just allow other artists to build on them? And artists are actually having fun because it is fun to build. It's once you start, it's like, it's like a game.
100%.
So,
and then real quick before we wrap up, if you want to let folks know where they can find you, obviously on Twitter, powerSurge, but if there's anything coming up, any other sites or like your Instagram handle, if you want to shout that out for folks to follow you at, that'd be a perfect way to wrap up.
Awesome. I think that's it. I mean, Instagram, I have a link to Instagram from my Twitter, and I feel like most of the audience is on Twitter. So yeah, Twitter is the place.
Awesome. Well, it was definitely fun to chat with you. Look back into your history.
My pleasure, guys.
Figure out how many fancy kitties you have and all that. So I hope everyone tunes into Surge's daily updates. They're awesome. They're hilarious. He adds that comedic spin to everything. And just thank you for taking the time to chat with us, brother. Keep on creating.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you for opportunity.
Cool.
Hey, everyone. Just want to give a big shout out to our December sponsor, F1 Delta Time. F1 Delta Time is an officially licensed Formula One blockchain-based game that utilizes the Ethereum blockchain to bring you a full Formula One racing experience, coupled with a revolution in gaming in the form of true digital ownership and a play-to-earn model. F1 Delta Time is all about collecting scarce digital items to fill your garage and leveraging these items to go head-to-head in multiplayer racing. Visit f1deltatime.com to join in various events running throughout December. That's F1 DELTATIME.com.
Send podcast. Send podcast. Send podcast. Send podcast.